Round 2 and the first endurance race of the series. It's the GTL Sports 2000 and we're at Oulton Park on the classic layout. Jimmy Ricard is on pole. Last week at Snetterton in the sprints there were 5 safety cars. It was a scrappy, messy night's racing. A new series with drivers still getting used to the fantastic performance of these little MCR rocket ships, and sprints always create the most dramatic racing. There were 8 incidents in total with 3 drivers earning penalties. Oulton Park, however, was something different altogether. Quality racing from green light to checkered flag. The safety car stayed parked up all night and the action was non-stop. Rangy Rover second on the grid. He was fast at Snetterton, but a technical problem made him the only retirement, which means he arrives at Oulton in a disappointing 17th place. Second on the grid now is much more where he wanted to be. And Magic Masson third, the winner of the Snetterton sprints and the series leader. He was hot favourite for Oulton and he didn't disappoint. A couple of drivers missing from the grid. Gunner's work commitments keeping him away from the racetrack, and Bales McKenzie also away due to illness, but Viperian has joined the series at Oulton in the Martini car, and we are still expecting to see GTL veterans Kiz and Pixel to meet us next week at Donington for round 3. After the number of incidents last week at Snetterton, the pre-race drivers briefing focused heavily on racecraft, and every race driver in the world has been told countless times that the race cannot be won at turn 1, lap 1. Take it easy, let the race come to you. And I am delighted to tell you that GTL drivers didn't listen to a word of it. They came out of the gates swinging, and they didn't let up for a moment. Jimmy Ricard had a lousy start, but Rangy didn't. He nailed it, powered on into the lead with Eski hot on his heels. Jimmy scrambled to recover from his rough start, but with no frills and Magic breathing down his neck, and Dollop looking for a gap anywhere he could find one. Cuckoo 7th, then left, TB9, then Travis. It was a tidal wave of GTL's best. GTL using the classic layout of Oulton Park, which does not have the chicanes. This creates a long speedway-like run up from the hairpin, a fast 4th gear through Knickerbrock, full speed up through the double apex at Druids, and finally down to Lodge before the MCRs finally have to get hard on the brakes. Half the circuit with your foot flat is not the normal Oulton Park experience, and it really suited these cars, but it was white knuckle all the way. A wheel on the grass could be race ending with very little runoff to slow the car down before meeting the Armco. It allowed the GTL drivers to really wind their cars up and made the fast right-hand Knickerbrock an exciting overtaking opportunity for the Brave. Magic was brave lap 1 and took Jimmy, a brilliant move, but one that Jimmy would turn back on Magic in just a couple of laps later. Eski in second place going up Clay Hill. Eski had a rough time in practice leading up to this race, but he's absolutely dialed in the car for the race. Through the double apex of Druids, too much power and the MCRs swing right, too wide on the curb, and the cars can spin across the track and into the Armco. Lots of mistakes here in practice, but Eski has it sorted and he's on a charge. He makes a dive hard into the braking zone of Lodge. This is a cresting second gear corner, almost reverse camber. It's very kind to Eski, and he goes side by side with Rangy for the lead of the Sports 2000 round 2. And this is only just the start of lap 2 of a 49 lap race, and the top 4 are side by side, and there are another 4 cars behind them just waiting for their turn. There was no taking it easy, there was no letting the race come to you. These guys were on the gas and the racecraft was perfect, side by side racing and not a scratch on the paintwork. Much. And over Rangy's shoulder we can see Magic making a move on Eski. He takes second as they run along the lakeside back towards the hairpin, and still 47 laps to go. Lap 3 and Jimmy Ricard takes Eski for 3rd place, and you can see over his shoulder here how much work these drivers are putting into the wheel, fighting the suspension and the downforce. And just seconds later, again we look past Rangy and we see Jimmy Ricard playing the reverse Uno on Magic as they come through the fast Knickerbrook sweeper, taking 2nd place, both drivers wisely giving each other enough space. 5, Jimmy Ricard makes his move on Rangy up along the lakefront. He got a great run out of the Cascades, drafts Rangy and slips past him, finally to regain the lead he lost on the start line 5 laps ago. Jimmy Ricard, Rangy, Magic, Eski. And the field is just starting to spread out. Now the drivers can actually have some space to work with and get themselves settled in for the long haul. Not a chance. Magic makes his move on Rangy. He has a great run and he takes second, only for Rangy to immediately come back at him side by side up Clay Hill. But Magic has the critical entry into Druids and he makes it stick. Jimmy, Magic, Rangy, Eski, the top 4 shuffle it up again. Bored of the action? These guys weren't. Lap 7 and Magic pulls the Knickerbrook pass on Sheppo again. The cars are at top speed in 5th coming into Knickerbrook, and they use every available inch of run out on the exit. Great to see these guys giving space to each other and still battling hard. All drivers playing the long game. Maybe give up a position, but live on to fight another day. Proper clean racecraft, and still 42 laps to go. Lap 13 and Jimmy is hard on Magic's tail. Jimmy shakes it up this time. He forces Magic to defend the inside line and then makes an outside pass through Knickerbrook. Brilliant racing from both men. This is the 5th lead change in just 13 laps and they have not finished yet. It takes Magic until lap 18, but he has a great run up Clay Hill and absolutely blasts past Jimmy into Druids. The Karcher car is on the absolute edge of grip, but Magic holds on, he takes the lead and he keeps it for the rest of the race. After Snetterton, Magic said he got pretty lucky with traffic, but here at Oulton it's been nothing but skill, and that goes for all of the drivers on the track tonight. Lap 19 and Rangy nails Knickerbrook at high speed and gets a good run on no frills, taking 3rd place up Clay Hill and just the same as Magic the lap before. It's a risky move. The pass is on the outside, the track is bumpy, and you have to get perfect braking into Druids or you just end up giving the position back. Rangy nails it. He keeps the position all the way until lap 26, now when the first cars are starting their pit stops. The MCRs only have a 68-minute endurance with just 46 litre fuel cells, but the race is 73 minutes long. Some drivers started with half a tank and refuelled halfway. Others opted for a late race splash and dash. The refuelling is fast, a good pit stop only about 10 seconds long. But not for Jimmy Ricard. A communications breakdown with his pit crew turned his pit stop into the second disaster for his race, well over 35 seconds, and a lot of work ahead for him. And the action, of course, was not just limited to the front. There were some epic battles right through the field. Stu and Truey were locked together from lap 23 to 38, trading 14th place between them and having a great time. And Mark and Hyperden also found themselves in a fierce battle over 10th place. This brief footage is from lap 32 and you can see the intensity of the fight for 10th place. The biggest battle of them all seemed to be for 12th position, right up until the closing stages of the race. Truey, Zach 18, Wagons, Stu, Skullpane. Zach 18 holding the lead of this little battle group right up until the end, but it was Skullpane who took honours, crossing the line in 12th position on lap 48. Amazing racing, 70 minutes in, and the group of drivers were still slugging it out as ferociously as if it were for the race lead. Great to see these and all the drivers in action, and getting this type of action right through an endurance race. But lap 49, it was Magic Mass who took the checkers. 39 seconds clear. They made him work hard for that lead, but Magic made it 3 out of 3 and 100 points at the very top of the leaderboard. Huge drama, however, for second place No Frills. He crosses the line in second place, but just one too many cut tracks, and he is penalised 21 seconds. A punishing result as it meant Jimmy Ricard, fighting back from 9th position after that disastrous pit stop, takes second place, relegating No Frills to third by just 3/5 of a second. And then the checkers came down for Esky, Travis, TB9, and then Cuckoo in 7th, and then Rangy Rover taking 8th position. Left's engine quit from fuel starvation on the final corner, and he coasted over the line with the clutch in to make 9th, as fine as you can cut it. Rounding out the top 10 was Big Dollop in the Caltex car. Magic Mass at the tippity top of the leaderboard. Jimmy Ricard is now up to second, but Esky retains third overall. A great night's racing. The drivers are all looking forward to the next week at Donington for the second round of sprints. The weather forecast isn't looking great, but that'll only add to the fun. See you all next week for round 3 of the Sports 2000 series.